Education meeting to order at 7 p.m. in the Stanley T. Williams Community Center on Thursday, February 21st. Roll call.
Chairman Papa-Holter.
Present.
Vice Chair Nafrio.
Here.
Secretary Sienna. Here. Janet Balsamo. Here. Jerome Candelora. Here. Vincent May.
Here.
Nikki Bright. Here.
Can we salute the flag?
You're supposed to say present.
I said present. Did you like that? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Visitors' comments? Student representatives?
So the course scheduling process of the 2019-2020 school year began this month. The current 8th grade students were provided materials on February 6th during an assembly held by the guidance director, Ms. Torr. Current grades 9th through 11th students will be receiving information during their scheduled advisory meeting on the 22nd. And all current grade 9 through 11 students will be completing online course requests during the month of February during advisory and off-site. Along with that, MBHS guidance counselors are meeting with the juniors and their parents individually through the months of February and March. The conference is focused upon the senior year and post-secondary planning.
Good job.
On February 8th, all NBHS seniors viewed a sample capstone presentation during the scheduled advisory session via a video of a prior exemplary presentation and were provided tips from the staff regarding the presentation and the final product. Seniors present during the months of March and April. Along with that, the NBHS National Honor Society is providing tutoring for students during the school day in the NBHS library. Most blocks are covered and staffed by members of the National Honor Society. Each month, Mrs. DeTore will be distributing schedules that indicate by block when tutoring support is available. The monthly calendar is posted in the library, has been shared with parents via a weekly e-blast, and shared via the school Twitter account.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 17th, 2019 Board of Education meeting as submitted.
I'll second.
Madam Chairman, I have a correction I'd like to make.
Discussion?
On pages 9 and 10 of the minutes of January 17th, there was a motion made by Vice Chair Norfio and seconded by you, Madam Chairperson, for a wage increase of 2.25% for Scott Shoemaker, the Superintendent of Schools. In the record here, it has me voting aye, when in fact I was against the 2.25%, as you well know. I voiced my opinion. I thought that the superintendent deserved a higher percentage, so I voted no, not because he didn't deserve a raise, but I voted no because I was not in agreement with the 2.25%. And if you go to the two votes above that, I voted no.
But you have, your R is a no.
You are as
Am I
a,
reading?
you are as a no.
No, over here, on page 10.
No, that was for the.
On page 10.
This is for the other people.
A wage increase of 2%.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It has
I'm
me
looking
as
at the
an
wrong spot.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
My voting record was clear. I voted
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
No, you're right. No,
I'm
you're
sorry,
right.
I was reading the wrong spot.
I was reading the wrong
Okay,
spot
I just
as
want the
well.
superintendent to know, I
Yeah.
didn't say he didn't deserve anything, I wasn't in favor of that low for me,
Right.
that's all.
Right.
So I want the record to reflect that.
Yep.
Mr. Mays, you make a motion to give me another raise tonight?
If I thought it would pass, Mr. Shoemaker, yes.
Thanks,
So let the
anyway.
record reflect that.
Okay, then I'll amend my motion to accept with the change. Who seconded it?
I second it. Shall we vote on that? Or,
You want a roll call or an all in favor?
no, because I have to abstain because I couldn't read the minutes. so we'll need a roll call.
Okay. Chairman Papaholzer,
Abstain?
Vice Chair Anafrio.
Yes.
Secretary Sienna,
Yes.
Janet Balsamo,
Yes.
Carolyn Candelora,
Yes.
Vincent Mace,
Yes.
Cynthia Rice.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 24th, 2019 special meeting budget workshop number 1 as submitted.
I second. Discussion? Roll call vote?
Chairman Papaholzer,
Abstain?
Vice Chair Anafrio.
Yes.
Secretary Sienna,
Yes.
Janet Balsamo,
Yes.
Carolyn Candelora,
Yeah.
Vincent Mace,
Yes.
Cynthia Rice.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the February 7th, 2019 budget workshop number 2 as submitted.
I'll second. Discussion?
Chairman Papaholzer,
Abstain?
Vice Chair Anafrio.
Yes.
Secretary Sienna,
Yes.
Janet Balsamo,
Yes.
Carolyn Candelora,
Yes.
Vincent Mace,
Yes.
Cynthia Rice.
Yes.
Okay, then under appointments, I would like to make a motion to provide the superintendent the authority to hire one English language arts coach for grades 6 through 8 created through the North Branford Intermediate School Improvement Grant.
I'll second. Discussion? Roll call vote, Mary?
Chairman Papaholzer,
Yes.
Vice Chair Anafrio.
Yes.
Secretary Sienna,
Yes.
Janet Balsamo,
Yes.
Carolyn Candelora,
Yes.
Vincent Mace,
Yes.
Cynthia Rice.
Yes.
And then I would also like to make a motion to approve the appointment of 7 individuals to the 6 stipend positions created through the NBIS School Improvement Grant as submitted.
I'll second.
Motion to correct it, the recommendation of the superintendent should be in the record. You didn't say that in your motion.
What?
Where is that?
To approve the appointment.
I don't have a-
Yeah, the superintendent's recommendation. You just made the motion based on the superintendent's recommendation.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of the above 7 individuals to the 6 stipend positions created through the NBIS School Improvement Grant as recommended by the superintendent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll second the amended.
Discussion?
Discussion?
Where is that in our packet?
It was an add-on.
It's an add-on. This is through the SIG grant,
It was an add-on.
through the school improvement grant.
I didn't get an
Oh, we
add.
didn't get an add-on.
No, we got it in the budget meeting.
I didn't even get it in the budget.
Oh, I
wasn't at the budget meeting.
So there.
Can I look at it for a second? Can I
look at it and then when you're done, pass it to Mary if you don't mind?
So there are going to be 7 names there that are
Please.
NBIS and high school employees. Per the SIG grant, these employees have taken on leadership roles in implementing various parts of the grant. So they're going to stay either before school or after school, and it's paid an hourly rate through the grant. So all of these monies are coming through the SIG grant. Those are all current employees that are working at NBIS or the high school. The first person on there is the coach that we've hired. There's not a name attached to that because that person is under contract in another district. We are hoping to sign that person tomorrow, and then the name will be released to you. So there's 2 different motions that you'll approve, and those are the names of the stipend recipients below.
If you could give that to Mary so she can have it for the
I
record.
need a person.
Don's making.
Oh, you have it? Yeah, you have
She
it.
does have it, okay. She didn't go to budget meeting. You want this back? Leave it here.
As you're aware that we had posted the 2 coaching positions at the middle school. A committee interviewed and we hired the math coach, which is an internal person from the high school that will be transferring over, and then an external person for the reading coach, the ELA coach. So 1 internal, 1 external.
So you have a motion in a second.
Yep, so Mary, and we had discussion, so Mary, can we take a vote?
Sure can.
Please?
Chairman Papaholzer,
Yes.
Vice Chair Anafrio.
Yes.
Secretary Sienna,
Yes.
Janet Balsamo,
Yes.
Carolyn Candelora,
Yes.
Vincent Mace,
Yes.
Cynthia Rice.
Yes.
to do things.
I'm going to excuse myself. It's my son's last basketball game and JV won over Old Saybrook. So I'm going to go watch him play varsity if you all don't mind.
We move on to the superintendent's report then.
Okay, thank you. Under Exhibit D, you'll see that the building administration is quite busy. They are here tonight. If there are any questions about the number of activities that are in the schools, feel free. I know that we had little problems with the mailing system with the holiday on Monday, so some of you did not get those until late.
I got mine today in the mail.
Oh, you did? Touchdown.
So I read, I didn't get to the, I can,
So-
honestly say I didn't get to the briefs, but I read everything else.
I'm not going to go through the 4 pages. We have the little ones here. They have to get to bed at a reasonable hour. So,
Bye, thank you.
thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
But if you do have any questions, feel free to forward them to me. I will get them to the administrative team.
Schools are very busy.
Okay? There are no field trips at this time. I'm honored tonight. We have our Board of Ed Spotlight, which is going to focus on Jerome Harrison and the Writers' Workshop. Ms. Parker is here, Ms. Wooten. They're going to introduce staff members who have taken on this initiative. I'm really excited that we have some of our young writers here tonight with their teachers. This is why we do what we do. This is why you become board members, so that you can support the foundation that starts with our youngest learners and watch them grow through their high school years and as they move on. So with that being said, if Ms. Parker could please introduce, and then we're going to have the students come forward, and parents feel free to take photographs when we move the students up to the front and they show their work. I'm going to have them walk around and shake. I know I'm getting into your presentation, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But that's okay. So we'll have all the students that are here come up, and we're going to have you walk around and shake hands with the board, and then take a group picture, and that's when mom and dad will do it. You can come up with pictures. Okay, so it's your night, you want to celebrate.
All right, so,
Thank you.
like Mr. Schoonamaker has said, some of our Jerome Harrison friends are with us tonight to share about Writers' Workshop. I would like to turn it over to Emerson Levine, who is our literacy coach and has done a wonderful job taking on this huge initiative at Jerome Harrison and at Pawtucket Valley this year. Emerson.
You want me to talk to the mic?
Yeah,
Please
please.
speak loud enough.
It helps Mary.
Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Those of you that don't know me, like Ms. Parker said, I'm Marissa Levine. I'm the K-6 literacy coach and curriculum coordinator. We're going to spotlight Writing Workshop today, which has been a huge initiative in both Jerome and Pawtucket Valley this year. So I'm going to do a very quick presentation to give you a little bit of background knowledge about what Writing Workshop is, some of the work that the teachers have been doing and the students have been doing, and then we'll have a little slideshow, and then we have some students who are eager to share their work with you. So thank you for giving us your time. So what is Writing Workshop? Writing Workshop is, and this is the same information that's in your packets as well. Writing Workshop is explicit instruction in the 3 genres of writing that Common Core asks us to be teaching, beginning in kindergarten, which is narrative, information, and opinion writing. It focuses on choice and rich opportunities for practice, so students can build their stamina, their volume, and be able to draw from a range of strategies so that they become purposeful writers. There is a very strong emphasis on the process of writing, and you'll see that when students share their writing folders with you. Sometimes the messiest pieces are the best pieces because students are learning how to plan, draft, edit, revise, and then publish their work. Some of the major components of the workshop model, not just Writing Workshop, but Math Workshop, Reading Workshop, is delivering mini lessons, which usually last about 10 minutes. Independent practice, which is where the bulk of the work and the bulk of the learning happens. Conferring, so working one-on-one with students, small group instruction, and then sharing. Teachers this year have been getting a range of support through professional learning. There was an initial training in August to provide an overview of what the units of study are. We have had a staff developer from Teachers College out of Columbia University come to our school 3 days so far. I think we have 3 days left, so a total of 6 days throughout the school year to come and support us. We work together in study groups. We go into classrooms and model, co-teach, and co-plan, and then I've been providing ongoing support for teachers through voluntary coaching cycles. I have 2 more slides and then I'll stop talking. So if you were to walk into a classroom, what would writing workshop look like? What would teachers be doing? What would students be doing? Teachers would be teaching whole group mini lessons, so gathering students together and teaching them an explicit skill or strategy that they can go back and work on during that independent piece. You'll see them working with small groups or one-on-one with children, and then you'll see them facilitating that whole group share back at the end of the session. The children you will see working independently a lot, starting down in kindergarten. They'll be working with partners in small groups. They will be engaging in meaningful practice, and you'll see them talking to their peers about their work. That's all right? Yeah, that's what you do. So a typical session for writing workshop begins with a mini lesson, which, like I said, lasts about 10 minutes. This is where students are getting direct, explicit instruction. The teacher will model or demonstrate a writing strategy, and we're teaching a key concept so that we can build their repertoire of strategies that they can pull from. During the independent and small group time, like I said, this is the bulk of the workshop, so you might see 25, 30, upwards of sometimes 40 minutes in the older grades, where students are working independently, in pairs or in small groups, and then the teacher will be conferring with students or pulling small groups to give them additional instruction that is based upon their needs. And then at the end of the session, usually about 5 minutes, the whole class comes back together for a share. A teacher might spotlight a student work, students might share with their partners, and it's just sort of a recap for the rest of the day. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the slideshow now. It's less than 2 minutes. Now we have our guest authors.
Perfect, sure. Well, thank you very much, Elvis, for everything. All right, so we have some of our guest authors that are going to come around and show you a little bit of the writing. We have Jonah. Jonah is in kindergarten in Mrs. Cook's room. Jonah, can you go right on down here? Maybe Michelle, and read a little bit of your writing. And then we have Lucy. Come on down, Lucy. Lucy's in 2nd grade in Mrs. Hamill's room. And Christian. Christian is in kindergarten and is Cooks. Perfect. Ty, come on down. In 2nd grade in Mrs. Aiken. Noel Alden in Mrs. Nichols' class, 1st grade. We have Taylor from Mrs. Cook. In kindergarten, we have Eden Fletcher from 1st grade. Come on down, Eden. Mrs. Nichols' class. Gianna, come on down from Mrs. Hamill, 2nd grade. Come right over here. Maybe you can talk to Mr. Nate.
Show me some of your work.
All right.
What's your
Gianna,
favorite?
right over here.
Can you show me your favorite?
And we have Lily
Well, I just want to show both of these.
Okay.
First one I can show you.
How many people over here maybe were they found?
One snowy day, me and my friends were having a snow play, and one of my friends got in her face.
Ouch.
Everyone laughed, and one of my friends.
Very good.
One of my friends went into a pile of snow. Another friend on the car, and we went
That does sound fun. I can picture it. That was wonderful. I can picture all the things you did. That was great. Hi. Do you have something to share too? I work with like 3-year-olds. Like my 3-year-olds can't even write. Did you read it? Just gonna slide down. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I read it. Oh, here. Here, read this one. Let me read this. I know who Peppa Pig is. Nice and loud. Is it Ben? That makes sense, right? Got them. You need extra. Then what? 5. Highly. Is this for a fire drill?
Wait, I didn't even know that. I learned something new about penguins. That is really cool. You did a
I like the toothpaste. I think I saw the episode. I have a little boy and he loves Peppa Pig and he loves Muddy Puddle One. I think I saw that one. That was very good. I can picture the episode. There's so much detail. Do you enjoy this?
love to
Do you like math? Or do you like going to eat? Okay.
How to play Packers.
That was like my favorite game when I was younger. Okay, go ahead. I can picture it already.
First, you turn on the pattern and the object of the game.
Can you read this to me?
The dots. Second, if you get hit by a ghost, you lose a flashing dot.
Very cool. So you're gonna write like a chapter book? Is that gonna be like a chapter book? You have to write another part to it? Mm-hmm. It's very cool. Did you draw pictures? Very cool.
That is definitely how you play Pac-Man. You play Pac-Man? I thought that was a whole person game, like me. I played Pac-Man. I didn't realize you could play Pac-Man again. You do? That is so awesome. Did you read a story? Do you already read one or you want to read one? You guys are doing such an amazing job.
Plus you got the two waivers.
You're welcome. I never read. Oh, wait, mine. Bend it. There you go. That is awesome. Another story. Okay.
You know why it's not?
That's the first start.
That's my queen.
Vocabulary. For a second grade, I would have thought you were like third or fourth if I had to guess. Very nice. First? You said first? You? Do you want to read it? Okay. Or do you want to read a page and then I read a page? I did. Okay. That is fantastic. I love the pictures Wow, very nice. It's instructional. Very nice. Very good job. Now, do you like your classes? Do you like doing this? It's fun? Are you learning a lot? That's awesome. Very good.
Wow, okay. And you have to tell her about
What?
that.
Come right over here, 'cause otherwise it's...
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
I'm sure this birthday's coming up March 2nd. When are you guys doing Race Across America Day Friday?
I think I still had the thing one, thing two shirts at home. Yeah, they were Branford miles and I'll save them for Bennett. Might as well. I know it's coming up eventually. Hi.
You did a phenomenal
Want to read me a
job.
story?
Good for you.
Oh, you know what? I love the color purple. I like the choice in folder color.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Contents even. You know a lot about James. Pre-K and FRC has
You did a great job. You did a great job.
I'm going to have to give that to my son. He's 13 and he still does not know how to make his bed. So that was very good. He still doesn't know how to make his bed.
Good luck in gymnastics.
You can believe that. So do you like doing that? Yeah?
It's hard.
Have you gone to
Just come here for the
I'm
main
just
stand.
gonna explain that. You did very proud of you. I'm so proud of him. Oh, that was good. Yeah, his how-to books. That's what we're
Very nice job.
That's what we're doing. Thanks for sharing. I could have read these all out.
Very good story, sweetheart, but I want you to be in the picture. Very good story. I'm hidden behind all the adults. But that I love.
All right, pick a camera and smile. Right here. In the front row. Mom, over here. Okay, got it. Good, thank you. Anyone else? To the right? To the right? To the right, to the left. Good. So before we close, can we have a round of applause for the teachers? She has been a huge advocate for the Columbia Writers Workshop and this initiation and the resources that have gone into it at the time in the PD. It's something that we're going to be very proud of in years to come as we develop and we get more into the program and this expands up through the upper grades. So it's a real team effort. The administrative team has embraced it and it's the teachers who've implemented it. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and then the finished product is what's best.
It's amazing.
Before we go, I know my school nurse is here. Does anyone have this allergy if I offer them a cookie? Any cookie problems? Yes.
Cookie? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, so I should have said.
Should have done a survey.
Yeah.
Sure, right, on the way, if you want to come over, take a, that's fine. Good job, guys. Did you have fun?
Shows up at work. Wait till I get the lunch. We're gonna give them a minute to clear out if they want. Just give them a minute to clear out.
Thank you, folks. Thank you.
So I think when I bring that up, I
This was those positions, correct? You set up positions?
Yes, yes. That was that steps. You want it?
No, I got it. I just, like,
Very cute, bunch of adorable people. I could picture little Bennett coming doing it in a few years.
Yes. They were fantastic.
But not only did they do the writing, they were able to read it in a very, like, to strangers in a very formal setting. So that's not an easy thing to do.
No.
I wouldn't have been able to do it as a kid.
Beth just ran out to say goodbye to the kids.
Oh, was Beth's grandchild here?
Yeah.
Which one?
Who's a kindergarten? It's Kitty.
That's the step.
All right, folks, we're going to continue on with the meeting. Thank you again.
Still on your report?
Still on my report.
Kindergarten enrollment?
Okay, so as you are aware, we are in the process of our registration for our kindergarten for next year. There were advertisements in the local papers. Currently, as of February 6th, we have 90 students registered, and we have an additional 10 applications pending. As you know, it's open and it rolls through, and usually in the summertime we get a flood of applicants as well. So each month I will update you on our kindergarten enrollments as we move forward.
Okay.
What are the numbers now?
90 with 10 pending.
100, we're 90 with 10 that have applied additional, so we've got 100 in the bin right now.
And what's
I'm
the-
sorry.
I guess-
Go ahead. Sorry.
What was the projected for?
I think it was 120.
120.
So what would the class size be with the teachers we have?
With 100 right now? Sections, Ms. Parker, how many sections kindergarten we're running right now? 6, so we're talking
17, 18,
Yeah, 17.
16, 17.
16, 17s right now, with probably an additional, we're guessing we get to about 120.
Absolutely, 90 students at this time of year is fantastic.
It's ahead of schedule, is that what you're saying?
That is time for kindergarten registration.
Okay. I'll let you know each month as we move forward. Can you just remind me each month, thanks?
I just have a quick question. I'm sorry. What do you mean pending? Like when you say 10 applications pending, what is pending like?
Well, they
you're
have them
checking-
out, but they haven't returned them.
Oh, okay.
What is pending?
Oh, you're.
Like, are you trying to verify they live in town, or?
So we, the office sends out packets. There's names that come in through nursery schools or preschools in the area. We then send out packets for kindergarten age students. And 90, how many have gone out? 110 or 100?
You're 10 out. Yeah.
Right, 100. So then 90 of them have come back. So there's 10 out there that will likely come back. And then there's more that will start to surface as time goes on.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, unless there are any other questions on the kindergarten enrollment, and I'll keep you apprised as we go from month to month. Narcan update, as you are aware, the board previously approved for the nursing staff to have Narcan in the buildings. And if there's an unfortunate occurrence, I have Cindy Turlo here, who is our nursing director. She's here to answer any questions. I know there were some questions before, and I want to thank her for being here tonight to answer those questions. So I'll turn it over to the board if you have specific questions.
Is it in place yet?
No, because we were supposed to have training the day of the snow day, so that got canceled. That's scheduled for next Tuesday. So once the training takes place, the protocol has pretty much been established. Dr. Noble has to change a little bit on there because we went with a simpler form of dosing. That's just a nasal spray where you don't have to divide the dose, you don't have to like give half a syringe. This is a one shot, fill up one nostril.
Okay.
Very simple, very easy to do. So we just had to change that part of the protocol, and that'll become part of our procedure.
And
But it's ordered, it's in stock, I have it, and the nurses will get it next Tuesday.
And it's being obviously kept in each nursing office and
Yes.
unlocked something?
Yes,
Is there
it
a
will-
count
nurse-
or
Is there what?
is there 2 people to verify the counts every day or every
No,
week?
it's not a
or-
narcotic, it's an
Okay.
over-the-counter medication, so
Yeah.
technically it doesn't have to be locked up, it will be kept locked up for obvious reasons, it's
Right.
too easy to administer. But it does come, actually, it does come in a sealed package, and we ordered 2 boxes for each school. And in each box, there are 2 doses, because after a couple minutes, if the victim isn't becoming aroused, then you would give another dose. It simply, do you want to see it?
Yeah.
It simply looks like this. You put your thumb on it, and with the plunger, you inject it into one nostril.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that's how they did it.
There's a lot of ways to do it, but this is the easiest. So
Okay.
we figured, especially if anyone else is giving it, that it was the best way. It's very simple, can't really make a mistake.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, very easy. It's safe in that if you haven't overdosed on an opiate, it's not going to hurt you. If we give it to somebody who has not taken the narcotic, or, you know, if there are side effects, certainly you can be allergic to it, but the chances of saving your life are much greater than worrying about a side effect nowadays to a medication. And it's possible you have to give a second dose, like I said. Doesn't take the place of calling 911, you must still call 911, which is all things that we'll review with Dr. Nolfo on Tuesday. But that's the first thing you would do, just like CPR.
And
So,
when do you think you'd be starting to institute?
I would expect Tuesday, if all goes well on Tuesday, that we'll start using it. I ordered it, it's in stock, we have it. It probably would be out now if we didn't have the snow day, that's the day of the training. So it's gonna be this Tuesday.
Only the nurses are going to implement it. There'll be no one else in the building that will use the Narcan. It will only be the nursing staff.
I don't know if this is the place to, right now, in the policies that we, was it 1260, administering medication, it was passed, I was against it, but it did pass. But my understanding is that the state didn't pass it, and so that right now, if something happens until they put it under the Good Samaritan law, if something happens.
I don't think it's covered, Sandy. It is?
Any drug that's approved by a physician, really the nurses can give. But this drug in particular is covered under a state statute and the Samaritan law. Even if you were to give it, if you were trained, you're still covered.
So it is covered? I didn't think for some
I
reason it was.
was told it wasn't covered.
Yeah.
It looks like initially it was talked about, on the second page, you'll see it. It covers both healthcare personnel and lay people.
Was this bill passed?
I don't know if the bill was passed, but it's
I don't
law
think
is
it
in
was.
effect.
I was led to believe it didn't pass.
I think there's been a lot of controversy with it, so you'll see on the first page first, it was passed and then revoked, and then the new statute came through.
Can I keep this or can I just?
You can keep that one. You could keep that, I don't know.
Okay, okay. I'd like to just check in because my understanding, I went on the site and tried to see which bills went through, and I did not see it that it was passed. So I would like to just look into that. Thank you.
So while we're on that subject, do we typically have the nursing supervisor when we're doing policies about medications and whatnot? Do we typically get their input or have them attend meetings, or is that something we should be doing, or?
Well, they're always available for consult. We have our attorneys that oversee. Many districts already have been doing Narcan for years.
No, I'm not talking about Narcan, I'm just talking about.
Anything?
Yes,
So
no, I'm just talking
If it was
about.
a EpiPen or if it was the
I'm just talking about the policies that have to do with the nursing staff.
cardio jump starting.
Yeah, like-
We send them out for PD. Dr. Nolfo provides a lot of the PD. If we did need them for consultation, we could bring them in to me. There's not a great deal of frequency that we have nursing policy issues per se, because many of them are standing protocols that are implemented by our medical advisor, who is charged with that, with abiding and following proper medical codes.
Okay.
So I guess the question is, we could have, but there was something on there that we needed we needed input.
Yeah, no, I just, because we ran through this and did we consult? You weren't.
Well, I think Joanne was a supervisor when this started, so I know she didn't know that it was being discussed at the board meeting, but I was not supervisor then, so I can't speak to that, but I think that we've had discussions over the past year or two about Narcan. I was surprised to see the policy had gone through and the nurses didn't know.
Well,
I raised that
So
issue.
it wasn't a big deal.
I raised that concern.
Which
Yeah,
concern?
I mean, I'm happy to come when
That we were
anything's
like
being-
deciding for the nurses, it was, they would be administering it and we were deciding for them to do it. And it's not mandated to have in school systems,
Right.
but
Well, Joanne was certainly privy to it from day one.
Yeah, no, I'm not against it. I think it's important. It's covered under the Good Samaritan.
Well, we don't know if it's covered. I was told that the state did not vote that it was covered under the Good Samaritan, and it was not passed as far as school systems needing to administer it. It's not under state law that you have to administer it. And then I believe because it wasn't under state law that you have to administer it, that there was a catch, and this was as of 3 months ago, that it was not under the Good Samaritan law, and our state rep informed
So
me.
would you like me to call our attorney for a follow-up?
Well, did you,
Well,
you had documentation.
We
You
already have a
documentation.
policy in place.
Right, but the policy was put in place, but I did bring it up in policy with Don, that was a concern that I had, that some of these, because there was a site I went on, and it lists the bills that were passed. And I went through, trying to figure out which bills they were, how they went with our policies, and I didn't see it, and I questioned Don
So
about it also.
we'll talk to,
I would like to know why a nurse wouldn't be considered under the Good Samaritan policy when police officers are. They
Well,
carry it.
it's what, like if you're ending up doing, because even as like being certified in CPR or not know it, if you end up breaking a rib or something, that's under the Good Samaritan. But the state has not approved this. As far as I understood, like I said, I had a conversation with our state rep 3 months ago about this, and it was not covered under the Good Samaritan law. The state did not vote on
we can
it.
easily.
So we can
Yes,
easily
we can
call
call our-
Vinny or
No,
whoever.
we would call our attorney who does our policy.
Right, well, the doctor said our doctor
I
that
mean, my
we,
understanding would be that an RN was capable of giving, it's not a narcotic,
Right.
it's not a narcotic that you're.
I could buy it over the counter. I could buy it over the
You could go buy
counter.
this tonight for your home if you wanted it. That's my understanding. I mean, it's good to know if there's a state law, but I'm not sure that we need a state law in order to carry Narcan in the schools.
Well, according
No,
to
you don't
these-
need a state law to carry it in the
No.
schools. It's just a case of whether or not something happens and you're not
Well,
covered under the Good
Dr.
Samaritan law.
Knowles would not
Yeah, I mean,
approve
he's way more
using
obviously
it
over me.
if he felt that you were taking a risk.
Correct.
He wouldn't put you in harm's way with your licensing.
No, and a lot of schools in Connecticut.
Already have it.
use Narcan.
Yeah, they have it.
We're a little behind.
So we'll have our policy attorney just answer that question under Good Samaritan, and then we'll email it out to you. That question.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Okay, just a quick update on tools for schools. Mr. O'Rourke is here. He's going to give you a handout of the committees that are in place right now and the timeline for tools for schools, just so you're up to speed on that. You did receive this, something like this last year, but the name's a little different. The schedules are there with the dates of when they're going through. They pick a different part of the building each month and go through and look for. Remember, this is for air quality. This is not. Did you get it? So they're looking at things that could have an effect on air quality, temperature, conditions. We're looking at, obviously, ceiling tiles and then staining and then getting reports to the custodial team through school due to make sure that those are on the list and they're being done. So we just wanted to update you that they are going on, and those are the people who are involved with the teams. There's a nurse for each building, a custodian as well, a parent, an administrator, and a teacher. Okay? The next part of the agenda, I'll leave up to you. There's a number of things on there. I don't really know they were asked to be put on. So under legal services for the North Branford Public Schools, there's the letter J under CABE, the Connecticut Association of Boards of Ed. There's insurance on there, and there's the feasibility study request for proposal on there. So those 4 things I'll leave to the board.
I didn't. Who asked for it?
Can you make a motion to table until next month's meeting when the chairperson is here, we're all present?
You, absolutely.
Yeah.
Somebody will second that motion to table until next
I'll
month.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Abstain? Nay?
Okay.
Moving along to the Shining Star Dinner. The Ed Foundation will host an annual Alan Davis Shining Star Award Dinner honoring Liz Gatlin, Liz Hoskin, Mike Katz, Neil LeBeau, and Fran Murphy for their outstanding dedication and commendable service to the North Branford Public Schools and the entire North Branford community. The dinner will be held on Thursday, March 28th, 2019, at Seasons, located on Route 80 in East Haven. So they've changed the venue.
Oh, they changed the venue. I just
Changed
caught
the
that.
venue. It can accommodate more people, and they were really impressed with what they were going to do for the price of the ticket. They've kept the ticket the same price over the last several years. We're really excited with the incoming group of Shining Stars. They've been wonderful ambassadors to the school system, to our students, to programs, to initiatives. So we're hoping that a board member can come out that night and support them if someone is available. We have tickets in the schools or at central office who are interested. Okay, and that is it for my report.
Hi. Thank you. Then we'll move on to committee reports. Negotiations, there's no report. Budget and operations. You can take it.
Oh, boy.
So riveting.
So we met before this meeting. We discussed the status of the 18-19 budget, which is fine. We talked a little bit about the 19-20 meeting calendar with the town council. We talked a bit about the budget for unaffiliated salaries, and we also discussed projects including the water booster pumps at Jerome Harrison, the canopy at Jerome Harrison, unit ventilators at Totucket and the high school, and a maintenance contract for the HVAC system at NBIS.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Looking at you too because you weren't there.
Yeah.
No? Okay, curriculum, instruction, and strategic planning. I'm sorry, I would like to try to make it to the meetings, but couldn't tonight.
We had a meeting tonight. Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
You'd like to go?
And then you ad lib wherever I miss. So we talked about the coaches. We discussed writing and math. They are using the Lucy Calkins from Columbia University in their writing. You guys, I mean, they kind of touched on that tonight, so it should make this a little easier. They did a professional development it's out of like the University of Columbia, and the coaches are learning about it, and then they're offering the support. So everybody's going to these meetings, teachers and coaches, and then the coaches are more, they dig in deeper with this, and then they offer support for the teachers for the writing. And then for the math, they're doing K-5. They're also doing the mini lessons to help develop like bigger, more in-depth understanding of math, like, you know, why would you add, why would you subtract, that kind of stuff. Number sense, problem solving. They had a math night, the K through 2, with the parents on how to support the children as a parent. So for for kindergarten, there were 30 parents that showed up. For grade 1, there was 35 parents, and for grade 2, there were 20. So there are parents that are going out to offer support to their children, which I thought was fabulous. They do a 3 to 5 night, they broke up into groups, so that's kind of what it was, 60 family members. So for the professional learning, they're meeting once a month with every grade level. So they're meeting once a month with every teacher from every grade level to help them with the mini lessons and look at and observe them. So the NBIS math teachers received 2 days of PD. They plan monthly collaborative planning for new units, so the coaches plan with the teachers. And the coaches also do a non-evaluative classroom observation. There is a fabulous website you could go on if you want to see what your children are doing from grades, I believe it was 6 to 8, correct? It's im.openupresources.org, and you could go on there to see what the children are learning with their math. And they did a 3-day program first. Oh, this is going back, so we kind of went from like writing to math to like struggling readers, which we got really in depth with. I was very excited over this. So it was a 3-day program that they got trained for struggling readers, and this is where we're using our state grant money for with the coaches, and it's called Level Literacy Intervention, and they're working with children that will voluntarily their time after school for reading. It's children who are struggling with their reading, maybe not up to par, maybe coded, maybe not coded, and I asked to see the books. It sounds really good, but there's very interesting books that these children are reading that might necessarily not be on their grade level, but it's got the content of their grade level. And there seems to be a very good connection with the teacher. I believe there's 5 teachers working with the kids, and the children seem to be very, they're actually wanting to do this now. Like a couple of their friends are in it, and now they're wanting to. So I asked to see the books next curriculum meeting because I was a little excited over it. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes, absolutely.
And then this is all with the grant money that we received from NBIS.
Good report, very thorough.
Thanks. Anything else, Trace?
It was exactly that. We talked about services that our K-6 coaches now provide, including things like the new initiatives like this Writers Workshop, going into Readers Workshop, having a homegrown institute over the summer for that, math workshop, and leading into really what now our coaching system becomes with the addition of coaches at the 6-8 level and eventually spreading their work to 6-12. And what that means for our teachers as well as our students and some of the work that's being done. LLA program is being offered after school free of charge to children that are struggling readers. They're identified through a benchmarking process, and we have had phenomenal feedback so far. Students are volunteering. These are students that have been in resource room or other supports before and not necessarily enjoyed them previously, and they've asked the teacher if they can come during lunch to work on this.
Oh, wow.
So we are seeing not only results as measured through benchmarking systems, but the enjoyment that students are having reading is having it's a marked difference from where they were.
And then she also said too, which I don't really think has anything to do with the grant, but I thought it was very like an FYI, that the 6th grade teachers are working with the 5th grade teachers to make the jump from elementary school to middle school a little bit more smoother and not so. So I thought that was like a really good like FYI.
It's one of our focus for the coaches as well as obviously for the district. We talk about transitions, and the website that Carolyn mentioned is for the new program that Meg Peterson and our math coach at the middle school will be continuing to help our teachers with. It's illustrative math. So for all those parents that really want to see what the kids are doing, we have resources that kids bring home now, but also they can access anything online that helps the teachers, supports parents who can then support their own children as well as support their grandkids. Thank you.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Was it a pension meeting month?
It was, but I didn't go.
Okay, it was.
Yeah, I can't make those meetings because those are the 4 o'clock meetings, right? Is that what I'm on?
Yeah.
And I can't, I work till 4:30. So if anybody wants to
Does
take
anyone
my
wanna
place on
volunteer
them,
to
I
text
would
me?
very much appreciate it because
We'll put out an
there's no way.
email with the times and the meeting dates, and then if somebody wants to respond, if not, then if you can't do it, then that's the reality of it. We'll figure it out. to make sure.
That's kind of one that needs consistency, right? So it wouldn't help if like she could do it 1 month and I could do it, well, it's only,
Well, they only
it's a
meet, like,
quarter, it's a
quarterly,
quarter,
yeah.
but you kind of need consistency on that one, right? Don?
Well, I mean, it,
Because we're voting members, unfortunately, if somebody's not
Right,
there,
exactly.
they're losing out on a vote.
Well, yeah, the only people who could attend and vote would be either the rep or if we have an alternate, and I'm not even sure we do.
Okay.
I'll try to make sure I get to the May meeting, just so at least there's something, we have a report.
Right. Yeah, because 4 o'clock's really hard
Yeah,
for me.
it's really, yeah. And then sometimes they even do it at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
I think in the summer they do that for like a luncheon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, the
What
August
day is
meeting.
it usually on?
The August
Does
meeting.
it change?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
But
It's
only
once a
4
quarter.
times a year?
Yeah.
Huh?
Only 4 times a year.
4
Yeah.
times a year, yeah, once a quarter. So we'll let Beth mull that one over a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to policy, but I think we could make this really short. Board packets didn't reach everybody in time. There was a holiday on Monday and a snow day, and mail is processed in Hartford and Springfield now, and so they didn't get to read policies, so we'll just,
Well, it's just first read, but
Right.
just for notes. 11:20, there's an explanation from Shipman, because there was questions about weapons signs being brought in. For the health assessment, 12:45, we had to look at whether we wanted to make it optional instead of required, and that the dental, there was a piece in there about dental, again, there's something from the attorney, about requesting it but not making it required. If we make it required and they don't get it done outside, these, we wouldn't have to, but it could be done in-house, but then we take on that financial responsibility.
Are we even looking into doing that?
No, the suggestion is to just request dental, but don't make it a requirement. Health assessment, similar kind of thing. And then 1260, that's the one that has the Narcan in it. And there's a section in there about who can know the information, and the suggestion is to take out on page 22, section 6, which has to do with bus drivers. And there's an explanation about bus drivers being carriers, things like that in the packet. And the last one, 1290, confidentiality. Let me go back to the med one. The suggestion is for that one is to do it in grades 6 and 10. We had to decide which grades to do it in. And in other policies, it's grade 6 and grade 10. So the suggestion would be to do it also in 6 and 10. And then for P1290, my advice would be to have a discussion after we do the first reading, probably at the next board. Because there's also it had down there, a model addendum was mentioned for contractors that they would have to sign. And Don, I didn't see that in here.
No, the addendum was something that, as I said, I misunderstood that. I thought that was supposed to go into the policy, but the attorney said it didn't need to. That's basically the student privacy data that Bruce is going to send out to, however many hundreds of contractors we have. And then they have to execute that in order for us to continue to use their product. So that's kind of a standalone. The other thing that I gave you tonight, though, is further expands on some of because that was not in the board pack. And the questions are in black, and the answers from the attorney are in like a brown tone. So those are things you might also want to take a look at before the second read.
So I guess my question is, based on the 1245, the health assessment with the dental, are we even looking into doing this? Like, is this something we're definitely going to do, or is this just talk? Because if we're not going to do it, we don't need to make a policy out of it, and the state has not mandated this.
Well, because we did ask the attorney that follow-up question, And basically what he said is if you're going to make a decision that you wouldn't do the screening,
Right,
then there's 2 sections in there, section C and D, that could come out.
okay.
And that would probably avoid a lot of the confusion. Section A and B are still things that we could request,
Yeah,
but in all candor, it doesn't have a lot of teeth.
okay.
And we really don't
Oh,
want to.
yeah, it wasn't really a pun, but I guess it was.
He said
I
different
said no
teeth.
teeth. So, it was completely unintentional.
That's funny.
All right, so we got a little bit more reading to do.
You done?
Done.
Okay. ACES,
Sorry, I was not able to attend this meeting.
no worries. Building committee, no meeting on our end. Communication. We did meet
So we
Tuesday
just-
night, this
yeah,
past week.
We discussed
Right.
capital projects and the need at the high school for the elevator.
Right.
To be our highest priority, and then we looked at central office staffing levels for various towns.
Right.
So it was a quick meeting, and those were really the 2 topics that we discussed.
Yep. Wellness, no meeting. Okay. No new business. Go to the board.
I went to the National Honor Society, the Junior National Honor Society, the first one I guess they had, and it was very nice. They did a very nice job. And I also went to the musical that they had, and that was a very, yes, that's musical. That was very cute. I didn't really know going into it what to expect, and it was a really good time. I actually took my mom, so.
I took my hand first.
They loved it. I took David too, but she sat somewhere else. But the kids did a phenomenal job, and all the administrators, teachers that worked at it, kudos.
A lot of work. It's a lot
It is
of
a lot of
work.
work, and it was a very enjoyable night.
That's great. Anything else for go to the board? Visitors and press? The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Thursday, March 14th, 2019.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.